Welcome back. It's been a while since we dipped our toes into the autonomous vehicle waters, like last week probably.
No.
So we have dug into some piles of papers around the office to find the latest goings on in the world of autonomous vehicles.
Yeah, I wanted to bring people up to date on some of the things going on from several of the manufacturers. And I'm going to start with Nuro. Nuro was the one that we've reported on off and on down through the years that have developed a vehicle, autonomous vehicle designed to haul stuff, not people. Stuff, groceries, pizza, just about anything like that, medicine. And they've actually unveiled their third generation autonomous delivery vehicle. And this new flagship is expected to scale its safe, eco-friendly, and convenient services to millions of people across the country. They're building a plant in the United States to build this thing. The question I've got is relative to an autonomous vehicle, either on the sidewalk or on the road. Does it have to be licensed? How's it going to be assured? And what states can it operate in? It talks about millions of people across the country, but it's autonomous, meaning there's no driver. So they're not really clear about whether or not this vehicle, where this vehicle is going to actually travel.
This is the one they partner with the pizza commercial.
They've
right?
actually partnered with a variety of people.
But it's that one you see, it's pretty big advertising for the pizza commercial.
Yep.
They act like it's on the road right now doing it, but if you listen closely, they're like, it's a pilot, basically. It's testing.
Actually, in 2021 alone, the company announced a multi-year commitment with FedEx, Chipotle, Domino's, which is the one you saw, and 7-Eleven. They've also formalized a commitment to leverage the company's third-generation vehicle with grocery leader and longstanding partner and investor. You ready for it? Kroger. Well, I seen this coming. This is not a surprise. You know, when I heard about the Nuro and where they were going, groceries made total sense. Most of these companies, Kroger included, are developing, you shop online, you get it delivered, so you never have to leave the house. The autonomous part of it, the last mile delivery part of it, is probably the weakest link in that whole thing. And I'm not even gonna entertain you with the nightmares I've seen on my side gig. Yeah, no.
Yep.
If you eliminate the driver, you eliminate a lot of drama. Being able to take it directly from the store or the dark store to the customer. Full stop, period. And these will be set up with time and temperature controlled bays to either keep it cool or warm. So you don't lose that time if you have a human driver delivering it through Instacart, Shipt, DoorDash, Uber, any of these, they're not delivering it in a time and a temperature controlled environment. So depending on how far they got to travel, how many other deliveries they've got, there's no guarantee that your food, particularly produce, frozen items, and dairy or meat, is going to be kept cold, or if you're ordering hot food, hot that long till you get it. Where Nuro is going to succeed is it's going to be from the time it's chosen and loaded, it's going to be controlled all the way to the customer. So you're going to see an improvement in the delivery of the actual groceries or fast food or anything that you don't currently have now, because the system isn't that perfect. So yeah, there's a lot of there as far as Nuro is concerned. And because they're not having to develop this for people, they're going to be able to cut a lot of corners because they don't need to necessarily follow or meet federal motor vehicle safety standards that is required for anything where people are transported in a vehicle, because that's not a thing.
We got other ones of the Neo?
We do. I'm so glad you asked. Volkswagen and Ford Motor Company have allied with a company called Argo AI to develop self-driving vehicles. And this has been coming for some time. If people remember, back in 2018, 4 years ago, GM was going to launch a fleet of robo-taxis through their Maven subsidiary. And that was supposed to happen 4 years ago. Needless to say, it hasn't happened, and they shut Maven down. Too soon, I guess. In this case, Ford is going to announce a fleet this past July, a fleet of autonomous vehicles to Lyft in Miami, which plans to expand to Austin this year. By mid-decade, Ford and Lyft said they will have roughly 1,000 autonomous vehicles in operation across the country. And again, same question, legislation. We do not have federal laws governing autonomous vehicles on roadways, interstates, side roads, surface streets. There are a handful of states that have some laws, but there's nothing consistent. So I want to know how they're going to deploy this beyond a testing platform, and will they cross state lines?
Well, people always come up to it with a baseball bat. Bop, 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 bop.
That's the least of my worries.
Yeah, true.
It really, really is.
True.
Because most of these vehicles are going to be remotely monitored anyway. I mean, that's part of the thing that still has to happen. And it would be crazy if they're not. And last May, Volkswagen started testing a autonomous Volkswagen ID Buzz electric vehicle prototype in March. That is the forerunner of the microbuses that we're talking about. We talked about here last segment. They plan to implement level 4 autonomous driving vans for light commercial use through the use of LiDAR, radar, and cameras. I see that happening in Europe. Again, legislation is the key in the United States. We need federal legislation in order to assure similar standards, uniform performance, and safety throughout the country. Until we get that, it's going to be a patchwork, and it's going to be a nightmare. It's literally going to be a Rubik's Cube nightmare. Not to be left out, remember General Motors, through their Cruise LLC subsidiary, they've been testing self-driving taxis in San Francisco for several years, and they're hoping to build 1 million self-driving vehicles. This is just GM. By 2030. And in case you keep a score, that's 8 years from now. The time is shortening, people. It's not no longer 10 or 20 or 30 years away. Most of these companies have been testing for 5, 6 years. In the case of Waymo, now 11 years that they've been testing self-driving vehicles. The day is coming where they're going to move from the prototype and testing stage, kind of like Waymo in Arizona, to more practical, broader applications across the whole country, particularly as we get this legislative and insurance issues resolved, which right now we don't. And again, I'm sorry, I'm a broken record, but it takes federal legislation. Not to be left out, Waymo is partnering with Volvo's parent company, Geely, to build an all-electric, self-driving ride-hailing vehicle. This is in addition to the Jaguar vehicles and the Chrysler Pacificas that are currently running now. It won't replace them. They're using Jaguar I-Paces and Chrysler Pacific hybrids, which provide autonomous rides in Phoenix. The company has also expanded its partnership with Stellantis to include local delivery services. And this will not, according to Waymo, impact their current partnerships with Jaguar or Stellantis. But it's a thing. It's going to happen. They're building a purpose-built ride-hailing autonomous vehicle for Waymo through their Zeekr subsidiary, a luxury EV brand.
Yeah, I think we've talked a little bit about them.
So, autonomous vehicles.
Finally, a look at how car companies are sustainably sourcing materials used in their car interiors. We are